Extinction is a new action game from the guys that made the recent Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. My favorite part about the game so far is the movement. While you'll be hacking and slashing as you play, you'll also have a fair amount of options while traversing the environment. You'll have your fair share of jumping, climbing, and then you even get this cool whip that acts as a grappling hook that helps you move around the environment a lot faster. Your character's movement speed is very fast, almost so that I found it a bit jarring, but then quickly got used to it as I played it just a little bit longer. I do enjoy the idea of being able to look at a building and then say, oh, I want to get to the top of that, and you can jump your way all the way to the top rather briskly, and it's really satisfying to just go about climbing all the buildings, jumping from building to buildings. There's another cool aspect of the game is that trees are kind of bouncy in the game, so you can use those as a means to just keep bouncing throughout the environment, just bouncing on the trees. The early levels of the game consist of you protecting an area, evacuating civilians, fighting orcs, and taking on the Ravenii. Rescuing civilians allows you to build up useful energy for your fights with the Ravenii. Combat with the orcs is rather simple, as different variations of hitting the X button can allow for some fancy combos. I do hope that the game does add more combos in the future with the main game as you keep progressing throughout the story mode. You fight with a sword, and I feel like additional weapons and combos could really lend themselves to having even more enjoyment out of the combat. Your fights with the Ravenii take a different mindset than those of the smaller grunts. These enemies are huge and they can usually take you out in one hit, and this is where you'll rely on your agility. So you don't really have that brutal strength that these bigger monsters have, but you'll need to move around very fast, knocking off armor pieces from them, lobbing off limbs so that then you can stun them, work your way to the top, and then take off their head for that final blow kill. While you're in levels, you'll be contending with enemies, but you'll also have a time limit. If the enemies take out all of the buildings in the area, it's game over. And I do like the sense of you having to have a sense of urgency where you need to protect an area from an opposing force. While the initial gameplay and levels seem fun, I do really hope that the full game continues to build on these centerpieces to make a really compelling experience throughout the whole game. Fighting the Ravenii is fun, and I do hope that you can attack them through different means, because as of right now, it just kind of seems like you do the same sort of thing. You hit the armor, okay, the armor's gone, all right, lob off a few limbs, stun them, and then go for the headshot. What I think would be really cool is, since they are these huge creatures, have some environmental traps to be able to stun them. Hit them with like a barrage of logs that come crashing down whenever they hit a certain point. Or have a bunch of siege weapons that you can use to take them out. Many of the beginning missions involve defeating enemies within a sieged area. I hope there are other levels that build to the explosive action and potentially kind of break up the formula that is seen in the first few levels, where essentially right now you go into an area, you rescue some civilians, you fight some orcs, build up some energy, take out the Ravenii. Rinse and repeat, and that's how the first few levels go. But what I think would really add to the game is say, oh, you have one level where you simply have to get from A to B, and that's it. Fight the enemies, or just rush to try and get there before the time limit expires, or have some ones where you need to collect some items, or something of that sort. Just something to kind of change up the action, so you're not always doing the same type of thing over and over and over again. What I think would help the actual action of the game is that if they give you more enemy types, variety along with lots of different combos that you can earn, along with new weapons. I do think that the sword is pretty neat and flashy, but give me an axe, give me a spear. Give me all these different weapons. Maybe give me some humorous ones to kind of make me laugh throughout the game. But we'll have to wait and see what the full game does with its release coming up very soon. This is just a brief preview of the game. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other ones. If you'd like to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon links at the end of this video in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.